What is up, all my chicken people? Man, has it been the last 12 hours. Been going back and forth about the chicken auction. If I was going to come, if I was going to bring birds. Finally, the weather looked like we were going to get a break. I didn't want to bring stuff if it was too hot. So we ended up getting 4 inches of rain last night, which we needed. So I'm thankful for that. But we knew the rain was coming, so we caught all the birds last night and put them on the trailer in their cages so I could leave early this morning. Backed the trailer into our carport. It was a super tight fit. Anyway, getting the trailer out this morning, I ended up popping a tire on a bolt. And sometimes I forget that you guys want to see all this craziness we have going on. And I forget that we're YouTubers. And so it didn't even cross my mind last night to film anything catching, which I didn't really explain or do anything crazy. We just caught a bunch of quail and some chickens and some ducks. This morning, in the middle of all the chaos, I didn't film anything, but we had to swap out trailers and drive a mile in, calf deep water to get out of our house, or to get to Blacktop. Anyways, we made it to the auction. We got all of our birds checked in. We're in a pretty good spot in line. So if you don't know, at this chicken auction, birds get sold at the order of their checked in. So I don't want to be the very first consigners because a lot of people are hesitant, and a lot of people don't get off work until 5 or so, and the auction starts at 4. So it's nice to be able to have your birds selling at 5:30. So you kind of got to take a guess at where they're going to be at in the line at 5:30. So I want my birds to get here in the second or third row, so they sell at that 5:30 to 6 o'clock time frame, when there's a lot more people here and then a lot of the first birds are sold. Anyway, I got my birds checked in. I'll show you that video of them here right now. And then we'll go back here in a second and go look around and see if there's anything else that I can't live without. There's some poultry netting that was here. Some big game bird feeders. I could use one for chicken feed. There, I did bring straw bales, 10 straw bales. I kind of want to see what the market's like, see what they're bringing here. I've been selling several of my straw bales from the farm locally, and I'm getting $5 a piece for them. Comment down below what you guys are selling just wheat straw bales for. One of the guys buying my bales said his buyer was wanting $8 a piece. And I was just like, there's no way people are selling straw bales for $8 a piece in July. October, November, December, I could see that, but not July. So I brought 10 bales. I want to see how that market is here at the auction. I brought that old nesting box that I replaced with my hen gear nesting box. So I don't know. Let's go look around and see if there's anything else I want to buy. You never know what's going to show up at a chicken auction. Made it back from the auction. I did it again. I accidentally bought some birds. So, but I got a good story, I guess. Or not story. My buddy that I bought guineas from this year, I already bought like 60 of them from him earlier. And Kenny brought some more. He brought like 150 guineas. These were the biggest ones he brought. And they were going cheap, so I was trying to bid them up for him. Trying to get him to bring a few more dollars. And it worked until I ended up buying 29 of them. So, but I found another friend of mine there that he took 6 of them. So I only have 23, which is fine. I mean, we like having guineas on the farm. We didn't hatch very many from our guineas because we only have, I think, like 2 or 3 hens. So it was good to get some more for next year. But these are just your basic pearls. This one's probably a pied pearl. Got a little white on its chest. Then you got your whites, which the hawks and owls like those. And then, like that first one I showed you guys, we have lavenders. So these are what we usually raise, are lavenders. But, yep, we got 23 of them. I'll tell you here at the end of the video what all my stuff sold for. Quail, chicks, or quail, roosters, ducks, button quail. Straw bales in my nesting box. So there was a few things I was happy with, a few things I was disappointed with. We didn't buy the Rias that I showed you there at the end. They weren't sexed. They brought what they were worth, but I just didn't want to pull the trigger on unsexed Rias. Because my luck, I would have bought all 3 males, and then finding just a female is tough. So, but I'm going to unload these. I think we're going to try to get down to the county fair tonight. Maybe I'll show you some video of that. And then tomorrow I'll go through all the prices of everything. So we'll see you in a little bit. All right, we made it back from the auction. It was a couple days ago. Anyway, go through the numbers here real quick, talk about the auction a little bit. These summer auctions get pretty tough to sell and to buy. Not really tough to buy. You got to be kind of cautious on what you're buying. And I'm really not going to the auctions to spend money. More or less just going to hang out with people. I've been a pleasure meeting a lot of you guys watching at the auctions. So if you do see me at the auction you're at, just say hi. I enjoy meeting everybody. But I'm going to talk about what my stuff sold for, and then kind of what the average price of everything else was going for. So I took a pair of silver apple yards. Those were the ducks I accidentally bought last time I was there. So I think I bought 6 ducks. 2 of them were the apple yards. I think 2 of them were anacondas. And I can't remember what the other 2 were, but I accidentally bought ducks at the last auction for $6 a piece. I took the 2 silver apple yards back. You could tell male from female, and they brought 14 a piece. So pretty much paid for all the ducks that I bought, and I still have, I think, 4 of them. I took some of my mixed ducks, which were white. I mean, they weren't blue Swedish or black Swedish. They were a mix. I don't know. They brought $5 a piece. Button quail, they brought $3 a piece, which is better than $1 a piece I took last time. We're slowing down. We're trying to get rid of the button quail. We may keep back a few just so we can have hatching eggs to be able to ship next spring. Like I've said in previous videos, we do not ship hatching eggs, but we're going to try to plan on shipping hatching eggs next spring. I took 70 Coturnix quail. I didn't sex them. They were about 7 weeks old. I took everything from that week's hatch that I had 7 weeks ago. They were all in one cage, and they all went together. So I probably could have found 70 if I would have sexed them all through all my age classes, but I still have 200 Coturnix quail, so I really didn't need 70 of them. 10 of them brought $3.50, another 10 brought $3, and the other 50 brought $2, which is cheaper than what I wanted, but it's less mouths I have to feed. I took like 4 or 5 Sarama Roosters. They only brought $1.50, which you're losing money on those because they're probably 15 weeks old. And they have a vet that comes and looks at all the birds. The vet charges 25 cents a bird, and they charge 20% commission. So when you're only selling something for $1, you're really only getting 50 cents out of it, and there's no way you're raising a bird for 15 weeks for 50 cents, not including my time and gas and all that stuff. I took some I Am Naked roosters. They brought $5 a piece. Some Brahma roosters, they brought $8 a piece. Some Polish roosters, they brought $11 a piece. My big nesting box that I replaced, the one I pulled out of the Eggmobile, the one I made, I think it was like 8 foot long. They brought $5, which was depressing. Mainly because it took me half a day to build it. I had more than $5 in the hinges and handles, so I should have no-sailed it, but I'm one of those guys that if you take it to an auction, you better be selling it, because somebody there got a heck of a deal and he knew it, and if I would have no-sailed it, he would have been pissed. But it drives me nuts when I'm about to get a deal and then the consignor no-sails it, and I just, if you consign it to an auction, it sells no matter what. Anyway, so it sold for $5. It is what it is. I wasn't going to use it anywhere else, so probably should have put it on Facebook Marketplace. Got a few extra bucks out of it that way. I took 10 straw bales. I wanted to see what the market was at the auction. On Facebook Marketplace, straw bales are bringing anywhere from $5 to $7 on Facebook, which is normal for this time of year, close to wheat harvest. Closer we get to November, December, January, that price can almost double. So supply and demand issue then. But I saw them from the farm for $5 a piece, and on Facebook at the auction, I think a couple of them brought $8 a piece, a couple brought $7 a piece, and the rest brought $5 a piece. So I think they ended up averaging about $7, and they were heavy bales, and there was a couple other straw bales that mine were better than the other ones that were there. The other ones brought $4. So they were good straw bales. I think I'll just keep taking 10 to every auction until I get down to the number that I just need for our place. But that's all I took and the prices I got for things. Man, chicken prices are pretty down. A lot of them in that $15 to $25 price range for a laying hen. Red hens weren't bringing a couple bucks a piece, but ducks obviously $5 to $10. A lot of rabbits, lots of rabbits for a few bucks a piece. Like I said, quail just a couple bucks a piece. They didn't have a whole lot of super cool stuff. They did have the rheas, which were like our mini ostriches, which I really want to pair, but they weren't sexed, and they brought 250 to 225 bucks a piece, and I just don't want to pay that money for birds that aren't sexed, because my luck, I'd just get stuck with all males, and finding a female rhea is not easy. You have to DNA sex them. So I didn't end up buying those. They were a hot item. There were a couple red golden pheasant chicks. I didn't stick around long enough. I mainly wanted to get back in time so we could run down to the fair. But this was the month for guineas. There was hundreds and hundreds of guineas, which is normal because guinea customers are kind of frustrating. And let me break down how guineas work. Like guineas, along with most birds that you have on a farm, other than chickens, so your ducks, your geese, your guineas, your turkeys, your pheasants, your bobwhites, like the only thing that lays all year round is your coturnics, like button quail, chickens, pigeons. Most of your other birds are seasonal layers, so they start laying in that March, April, May time frame until the end of June, into July. Ducks can go a little bit farther, but geese usually don't start laying till, ours anyway, really haven't started laying till May, and then, or late April. And then you have your 20 some day hatching process. So if they lay mid-April, it's gonna be mid-May till you get your first chick, or June. And so everybody wants guineas or Keats like in March, and it's frustrating because everybody's like, I need them, I need them, I need them in March, right when the bugs start coming out. Well, they aren't even started laying yet, and then you got a whole nother month to hatch. So everybody's like, well, you can find them in the store. For you guys that don't understand how hatcheries work, most hatcheries put all their guineas or their ducks or whatever into a building and turn on the light so they have enough light. Birds lay based off of how much light per day they receive. So early spring, the light is still less than it is in late spring. So the hatcheries are forcing light on their birds, which causes them to lay early so they can hatch guinea Keats and sell them to you in the stores earlier than most people that don't force their birds to lay. So just understand that when you're wanting Keats or ducks or geese or a seasonal layer, they don't lay when you want them to lay. They lay when they get enough light to lay. So we only have a couple of guineas, so we only got a couple eggs, and we did hatch some, but luckily I had a buddy that hatched a bunch, and I bought a bunch of Keats from him a month or so ago, 2 months ago. Well, he brought 150 or so to the auction, and I was trying to bid him up for him, so he would make a few bucks. I ended up buying his oldest ones, which are the ones you saw me with there, and I paid $3.50 a piece for him, which in the store, a Keat at like Atwood's or Truck Supply or whatever, they usually bring $8 a piece or so, $8 or $9. I think I saw them for $9.99 at Boomgars this spring. So for outside ready 3 or 4 week old Keat for $3.50, I thought was a good deal. I sell those things in the spring. I sell adults for $30 in the spring, and I sell most of my Keats for $7. So yeah, I'm happy to have more Keats. I didn't necessarily need to buy more Keats. I was just trying to help a friend get a few more dollars out of his, which worked for the other 100 that he sold. I got him 25 cents a piece out of most of his birds for him. But then I ended up getting 29 of them, and I sold 6 of them. So before I even left there. So I have 26 more Keats. And this time of year, everybody floods the market with guinea Keats, which is not necessarily when people want them, because they wanted them 3 months ago. But that's about all I have for this auction video. Hope you enjoyed a few of the fair video clips, and we got more content coming this week. So hope you enjoyed last week's videos where we posted every day of the week. Don't get used to that. That was a lot of work. I just had a library full of content that I needed to get rid of. So we're going to go back to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I want to say thanks to everybody that's new to the channel. Over the last week, we've gained a bunch of subscribers. We're up to 22,000 or almost 23,000 subscribers. So welcome to everybody that's new. Hope you enjoy our content, chicken content. Hope you learn from it. Bee content, cows, pigs, whatever, we got it. You name it. Anyway, I'm rambling. We love you guys. Don't haggle with your egg supplier. Buy your guineas local, and we'll see you guys on the next one.